Kia ora! A few months ago I looked at a few LEGO Ninja Turtles sets from the themes released in 2013 and 14. For me it's one of LEGO's most underrated themes, and the videos all seem to do pretty good actually. Thanks everyone. Keeping that train going, people really like ranking list videos, so here's my ranking on all of the LEGO Ninja Turtle sets. If you're new here, I like to add a couple of my own rules to the mix just to spice things up. First rule, I'll be counting every single set from both the cartoon and the movie, all of them released between 2013 and 2014. The next rule is that I don't really like counting convention exclusives or polybags for ranking list videos. These items weren't available worldwide and they weren't easy to access, so no dice for me. However, for this special occasion, I will actually spend this next moment highlighting these special promos now just for you at home. There are time codes if you want to skip and go straight to the rankings. There were 6 special event items released, and one of them also had its own super special release, technically then I guess making 7 items total. It looks as though there were 2 polybags that were released, Krang's Total Target Practice and Mikey's Mini Shell Raiser. The Krang one released in 2013, and it released an at the time exclusive Krang Soldier figure. How cool is that? But then that figure was actually re-released in 2014 in a set that I would then go on to own, so not so cool now, is he? The Michelangelo bag released in 2014, that figure included was the exact same one from the 2013 Shell Raiser set, so it's another dud of a polybag. Flashback Shredder was a promotional minifigure. He seems to have been a gift with purchase at some point. He's worth like $12 NZD now or something, but still, he seems pretty cool, currently my favorite, and I guess by default the best polybag. The Comic-Con figures are a very crazy addition to all of this. These guys released in 2012 to help promote the fact that LEGO got the license. I'm really glad that they don't do this kind of stuff anymore, if I'm honest. I don't even really understand the packaging that's going on here. We'll start with the one that's worth the least amount here, and he's still worth a ton. Krang was given away to the first 300 customers who visited the Rockefeller Center store on October 13th, 2012, if you were dressed as a Ninja Turtle. I was 12 and I was living in New Zealand, so I stood absolutely no chance of getting this figure. He's valued now at just under 2k NZD. Leonardo though appears as this really crazy shadow dude, and he was given away via a raffle at the New York Comic Con in October to help promote the theme, so some lucky people probably managed to score both of these figures. He is currently valued at around 2.5k NZD. This is really cool. This is a slice of pizza Lego build that was also given away at the Comic Con event apparently. There's not a whole lot of easy to find information out there, but some people do claim that the set is a very expensive rare set, but I mean it just looks like a bunch of bricks to me. I'll take their word for it though, whatever. And finally, that Shadow Leonardo figure does return. It's the exact same figure as far as I can tell, same accessories as well, but he was limited to only 400 figures released in 2013, given away at some Westfield Mall promotion. You had to come dressed up as a Ninja Turtle or something. It actually occurred pretty closely to my birthday, would you believe it? Anyway, they're interesting, but they're also all bottom tier anyways, because it's just like a bunch of bricks or a little figure or whatever. Without further ado, let's get into the real list. This is my ranking of the LEGO Ninja Turtles theme. Number 14, Karai Bike Escape 2014. By no means is this a weak set, it's a really good one in fact actually, that I happen to cover on this channel. The inclusion of a battle damaged Leonardo figure and the Karai figure is great, but as good as those figures are, it's still ultimately just a street corner build and a motorcycle. I think it's a step down from the 2013 smaller set of that wave, but it's still a pretty good solid addition to the theme overall. There's just not a whole lot going on here to justify a higher placement. Number 13, Shredder's Dragon Bike 2013. Ultimately, I think covering the set on this channel is what kind of soured my taste on this set. I desired this set for a long time because it seemed like it was going to be the only way that I could get my hands on a Donatello and a Shredder figure. I think in some ways though, I might like that Karai set a little bit more. In fact, you know what? Swap the orders around. This is officially the weakest set. This is number 14 now. Again, to just reiterate, this isn't a bad set, especially for its time of 2013, but the oversized bike with little to no features, it just doesn't really interest me anymore. I appreciate the easy way of getting both a Donatello figure and a Shredder figure, especially Donnie, given he's my favorite turtle, but there would be other Donatellos that released in much better sets later on. So I guess the real draw here was the cartoon Shredder, obviously, who would eventually then go on to be included in a couple of other sets later in the theme's lifespan. Had you waited, you could have gotten yourself a much better movie version or a better cartoon version. It's a fine set overall, it's just not interesting enough to be higher. Number 12, Stealth Shell in Pursuit 2013. This set feels a lot more like a Batman set than it does a Ninja Turtle set, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, just an observation. I think this Batman-esque vehicle for Raphael feels kind of out of place for the Ninja Turtles line, but maybe not so much for Raph, I guess? I don't think this is actually based on anything specifically from the cartoon, more likely it was inspired by other vehicles that were shown there. The real draw for the set is Fishface though. The Turtles line has some absolutely amazing weird mutant minifigures who were always the absolute best parts of the set, so I do like the set for him and him alone. The rest of it though, it's just okay. Number 11, T-Rocket Skystrike 2014. It's a weird name, man. I have a soft spot for the set despite some funny glaring issues that I have with it. The 2014 wave was the wave where the sets began being based on actual direct moments and episodes. I think that the design matches close enough, but you can't help but notice just how unfinished the set ultimately looks. I really like those giant canopy pieces that are used in other sets, and they work well here for representing the bulk of the ship, but they also have just a little too many inside parts exposed, like those studs. It just feels like it's an incomplete design. And it's a design that I don't think would look unfinished if it was a brick-built one instead, but I could be wrong on that though. I really like the inclusion of the Krang shuttle here, and especially for the inclusion of the minifigures as well. Donnie and Mikey have some really cool special attire on to match the scene a bit better, and overall they're really well done. Mutated Dr. O'Neill is the standout minifigure here though, using the bat monster wings and a rubber hairpiece. It's a weird, interesting set overall. Number 10, Krang Lab Escape 2013. For a good while, this was the only LEGO Ninja Turtle set that I owned in my possession. I wanted at least one set to represent the theme in my collection, so I managed to just get the cheapest one. Still, it's the only set that ever included a Krang alien minifigure. I really love the look of the jail cell for what it's worth. I think that the Krang ship is really good as well. This set gives you just the right amount of stuff to feel really worthwhile, and I think that this set is one of the strongest ones that represents the identity of what makes Ninja Turtles the most. It's a better set than the Karai one for sure. Number 9, Mutation Chamber Unleashed 2014. Personally speaking, this is one of my favorites of the line, but I don't know what the general consensus on this one is from the masses. I've never really heard anything about this set from people, so I can assume probably not very good. I'll hold that though on the fact that it's based on an iteration that adult fans didn't enjoy at the time. This episode is a really strange one, and the set is as well. It's very loosely based on the mutation sequence, since the build doesn't actually match the source material very well, but man, that Spider-Bites figure is freaking weird. Like I've mentioned for the other mutant figures, I love the molds included on this figure overall. He's a very impressive piece in total. Raphael wears some really cool Batman-esque attire, and you also get the Victor figure because take a guess at who's getting transformed. Number 8, Baxter Robot Rampage 2013. I think this might have been some kind of an exclusive set or something. I really don't agree with the Baxter Stockman figure overall. He's too specific of a design and not really accurate to the scene overall, but still, it's the only way to get both him and an April figure. The April O'Neil figure is the real selling point here, at least she was for me. The mech I actually think is a decent build overall. It's got some really cool play features like the grappling hook hand that can come out and retract. The Mouser droid really helped sell me on this set as well. Donatello and Raphael both include some turtle feeling vehicles. It's a cool set. Number 7, Turtle Lair Attack 2013. I really liked the set when I first got it, but the other lair is ultimately just a much better set. What I really like about this one though are the cartoon style builds and those colours. The inclusions of areas that have been tailored to the personalities of each turtle as well feels really well looked after. It really feels like you'll benefit from this greatly if you go out and buy the other Ninja Turtle sets. The set included the only way to get the Splinter figure. I really like his tall figure, though the design I'm not super fond of. That's not on LEGO of course. I wish maybe there was just another wall section. I mentioned in the reviews that I really want a center stage area in the middle with sections that can expand from there. This set is just two walls, one of them is small, one of them is tall. It's nice overall and the color selection is really good, but ultimately I think that the set could be bigger and better. Number 6, Turtle Sub Undersea Chase 2014. Getting this set secondhand was the set that finally got me back into collecting the theme some years ago. I got this on an absolute killer deal as well. I feel like I've put all of my favorite weird mutant sets a bit too low because people prefer these bulkier builds more so than those. But I really love this bulky set because of Leatherhead, so it's going here at number 6. He's part minifig and part big fig, and personally this is my ideal design for how I would like big figs to be done in LEGO, by the way. His model is really crazy. I love those massive arms, I love that figure so much, just for all of his uniqueness. Donatello, Leo, and the Krang Soldier all wear some really neat underwater gear and are all exclusive to this set. The build is a giant turtle submarine. It's great, I don't really need to say anymore. Number 5, Turtle Van Takedown 2014. The first of the movie sets here. I am a Ninja Turtles Michael Bay Paramount movie apologist, but specifically for the Out of the Shadows movie, this set gives us the Raphael and Mikey, Michelangelo being the exclusive minifigure here. I like the scary designs despite how scary they are, but I really don't like the expressions that were used for all of them. At least one or two of them should have been happy, but these boys are all very angry as minifigures. It has a pretty cool security checkpoint and a cage thing for Michelangelo. The van itself is fine. I really like the weird shaping and the gimmicks that are attached, but there's not a whole lot to do on the inside of this van. I like the checkpoint build overall as well, but I would have preferred if the Foot Clan had maybe their own vehicle of some kind. That's all this would need to be improved. Number 4, Shellraiser Street Chase 2013. And that's why I think that this one is better. Besides the fact that the Turtle Van this time round has a crazy difference in its design and its size, the villains also have their own little truck to either escape or fight back. Dog Pound here is the very exciting addition to the set, a really good mutant figure with a really cool special body mold. I bought the set secondhand and I haven't covered it on this channel yet because while I got it for a really good deal, there were a few things that the seller I believe intentionally did not want to tell me about the condition of the set. It's good though nonetheless, the best turtle vehicle for sure. Number 3, Big Rig Snow Getaway 2014. The best turtle vehicle set for sure, that is of course if you're not counting this one. Tragically, this is the first set on the list that I do not own, and I've been trying to track this down for years now. Oversized vehicles, I don't know, some of them just kind of work for me. I think that a truck that also acts as a base of operations, see now you're just talking video game speak to me, and I'm all in. Part Jurassic World, part Lego Agents, part Grand Theft Auto, part Ninja Turtles, this has a lot on offer for me. The Foot Clan looks like he's ripped straight out of Call of Duty, it's the only way to get the Megan Fox April minifigure, and the Turtles, while not exclusive, they have nicer expressions for what I want for my taste of turtles. Number 2, Shredder's Lair Rescue 2014. Again, the second and only other LEGO set of the Ninja Turtles line that I do not own. The two sets that I need to finish my collections are also two of, in my eyes, their best sets. I love playsets, and this one just feels like it's the Death Star Final Duel, but in Ninja Turtles. I mentioned before that there was a better Shredder minifigure set, this is it. I think that the purple design just works a lot better for me, and he's hired Garmadon as a Foot Clan soldier. Raphael and Michelangelo are both exclusives here apparently for their expressions, and ultimately, it just looks like a really cool cartoon castle styled throne room. I dig it, but not as much as I love number 1. Number 1, Turtle Lair Invasion 2014. Currently, this was the last Ninja Turtle set that I bought for my collection. I managed to haggle the seller down from their very unreasonable price to actually a nice one overall in the end. The set has everything that I wanted from a Turtles lair. The walls are better in their design with different scalings, and they offer more like exploding sections, some fun gimmicks and tools, traps, and a slide feature. They also connect in the middle dueling station, so there's a partially circular design that's going on here. As for the minifigures, Donatello, Splinter, and Shredder were all exclusives. Bravo. I'll say this though, that Splinter figure is an ugly minifigure, making him shorter from the tall one, slightly changing his colors from the source material, and reskinning that cartoon head, it's just all wrong. Everything else here though is a gold standard. And that's my list. I love the LEGO Ninja Turtles line. My hope obviously would be for a return of the property amongst the popular areas of the franchise like the original cartoon and movies, or maybe with the success of Mutant Mayhem, we might be able to see something for that movie in its sequel. If you like the themes of Indiana Jones, Ahsoka, and Spider-Man and you want to see what I have to say about any of those, you should go and watch the ranking videos here. Liking and subscribing does help to support this channel, and as always, kakete ano, take care.